Spyro the Dragon is back. Like, back. I'm not talking Skylanders here. This is Spyro the Dragon exactly as you remember him, for better and for worse. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with our awesome gaming content and hit that bell to stay updated on when we upload. Reviewing a remaster is always a difficult affair. Taking into account the nostalgic factor and authenticity of the original is one thing, comparing it to previous remasters is another, and looking how well the product holds up to current gen releases makes for a difficult concoction of opinions and feelings that often conflict each other. On one hand, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy is a beautiful and faithful remaster full of all the same charm and wit from the originals, with improved graphics and a layer of new personality that can only come from a team that has a clear love for the originals. But on the other hand, Toys for Bob made the executive decision to barely change anything gameplay-wise, and that makes for an often clunky experience that reveals the game's real age, especially in Spyro 2 and 3, where there are an abundance of difficult-to-navigate water segments. Here's the thing though, I don't care. I'm going to take that hand of negativity and throw it far away and let nostalgia take hold. And I've no doubt every person who played and loved the original games around 20 years ago will do too, because as far as remasters go, Toys for Bob nailed it. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy is full of amazing small touches, from the way Moneybags guards his bag of gems when you flame him, to the way Sparks will sometimes interact with released dragons while they give advice. Oh, and the fact that grass burns when Spyro breathes fire. All of this adds an extra layer of life to the classic trilogy. Every character has been redesigned to truly suit their environment, and they really feel like they belong in the world you find them. Of course, there are those of you that may not like these artistic changes, but there is so much to love here, these issues will quickly be pushed to the back of your mind. All the short cutscenes that play as you enter and leave realms in Ripto's Rage have been lovingly remade in-engine and are often absolutely adorable. This level of characterization wasn't possible to achieve in the blocky PS1 era, and it's so easy to love how Toys for Bob have elevated these simple moments. And that doesn't just apply to these short bookends. Every cutscene oozes personality and takes the heart of the original scenes and rebuilds them using modern technology, and honestly, they are gorgeous. It's like watching a Saturday morning cartoon stunningly rendered in 3D. Unfortunately, there are moments when the quality dips, and those times can be very jarring when everything else looks so stunning. Most of these issues come in the back end of Year of the Dragon. At one point we had major issues with frames dropping and audio going completely out of sync in a cutscene. The baby dragon animations in Spyro 3 also just don't come anywhere near the quality of the dragons in the first game, which can be quite jarring. We also had bugs that affected gameplay itself. Sometimes falling animations would activate on ladders, and the whale in Evening Lake was just impossible to escape. Luckily, thanks to the ability to travel to different worlds from the guidebook, these bugs were never game-breaking, but they heavily impacted the experience. The first two games are incredibly polished, and it feels like the developers may have needed a bit more time to bring Spyro 3 up to the same standard. Hopefully these are problems that can easily be improved with a future patch. One thing worth pointing out is that characters you know and love don't all sound the same as they used to. Tom Kenny has reprised his role of Spyro for the entire collection, a position he originally only filled in Spyro 2 and 3, but most of the other positions have been recast. On the subject of changes, the extra playable characters in Year of the Dragon feel much better to play and control, especially Agent 9, who now has a reticle in third person and doesn't need to zoom in to aim. The camera position is also different from the originals, something that definitely adds an extra layer of challenge to certain levels. During the Nasty Nork chase at the end of the first game, the camera is lower and closer to Spyro than on PS1, making the path ahead almost impossible to see, something new players will find challenging and the returning fans will just see as frustrating. These sort of changes should be expected, of course. Toys for Bob built the Reignited Trilogy from scratch, and this should be celebrated. This is one of the best remasters ever. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy is not perfect. It has its fair share of bugs and graphical glitches, and the classic gameplay holds it back when compared to modern platformers. But in a generation full of complex titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, where every button has multiple uses and every action has consequences, sometimes you just want to sit down, headbutt a few Norks, flame some Rhinox, and hoard a metric ton of gems. Despite the problems, the Reignited Trilogy was a massive undertaking, and that should be applauded. Spyro is finally back, and I can only hope this leads to more adventures with our favourite purple boy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our review, make sure to subscribe to Unilad Gaming on YouTube and hit that bell to keep up to date on when we upload.